Now, my new thing is that I delete like half of the footage.
Good stuff.
The more it tasted like my laundry detergent.
Hello guys, this is Christy from Dostoevsky in Space, and I'm here today with the beginning of the A Very Russian Christmas vlog, which is the first in a series of foreign Christmas celebrations that the Codex Cantina is doing over on their channel, so I will link them down below. And also, I've already done an announcement video about this vlog, so I will link that above if you're curious what is going on this month. I just talked to Una and Krypto, and we made our battle plans, and I was inspired to just start making some Russian drinks. I'm so excited. I already have my drink picked out for recording with them, which will be about a week from now. I'm going to make a fruit drink called this. So you'll probably see that later in this video, as well as discussing some of the short stories that I've been reading. But first, I wanted to get started on kind of like a yogurt mixture drink that is very popular in Russia and Ukraine. I'll put the name right here because I really can't pronounce it. Una and Krypto and I are going to do a pronunciation game, and I'm so afraid. I started studying the Russian alphabet a little bit so that I could maybe know how to pronounce certain letters, but it's gonna be a challenge. I don't feel prepared. Now, I'm going to show you how I am cooking this, the yogurt thing. You have to start it with something called baked milk, which is something I've never heard of. Okay, let's get started. So I am listening to, shoot, where's my phone? I don't know where my phone went, but I'm listening to Romantic Outlaws about Mary Shelley and Mary Wollstonecraft for a separate read-along that I'm doing in November. I'm filming this in November, and it's so engrossing. I'm gonna be listening to that while I cook. I'm gonna make some food, then we'll talk about some of the Russian stories that I have just read. Okay, I took off the skin, and here we have the baked milk. It's supposed to be very sweet. I've been baking it for like 5 hours. For some reason, I thought it would be solid, but it's not solid, which is cool. I'm just supposed to mix it with some sour cream, and we'll see how it turns out. I have like a whole bunch of mason jars because I really like fermenting my own kimchi.
Wait until the whatever thickens until between 4 and 10 hours, but best to check hourly. As soon as you notice it has thickened, put it in the refrigerator and allow it to cool.
I hope this turns out like yogurt. I've never actually made yogurt before. I don't really have fresh sour cream. It calls for fresh sour cream. I don't know if my store-bought sour cream is gonna like do well enough. We'll see what happens. Hello, okay, so apparently now my new thing is that I delete like half of the footage before it's actually in a video. Let me explain. First of all, I completely failed the Russian yogurt, and that's mainly because I didn't notice that it called for fresh sour cream until after I'd already bought the ingredients and started the recipe for the second time. The first time I overcooked the milk in the oven. The second time I didn't have fresh sour cream. So basically what I'm saying is I can't read, even though we're here talking about like Russian literary short stories. Good stuff. However, I did also talk about some short stories that day, and I'm just gonna re-talk about them now. I'm gonna talk about 3 of them. So these are not the freshest takes, keeping in mind that 2 of the 3 of these short stories I have now already seen the Codex Cantina analytical videos on them. This is kind of a compilation of several people's thoughts. I've been voxing with 2 friends, Joe and Faye, about these stories as well, and all of these conversations have helped kind of shape my opinion of these stories. So let's just get started. Oh, but before I do, let me just say I love the Codex Cantina's 2 analytical videos on these stories. I'm going to put them down below or up here somewhere because you absolutely have to watch them. And there's going to be a 3rd coming out very soon. Like it might already be out by the time you see this video come out. I don't know. And if it is, then I'll put it up here. But definitely check them out. They're just fabulous. So, The New Year's Tree by Mikhail Zashenko was was the first one by, I'm totally mispronouncing this, I know, Mikhail, I think, Zashenko. And man, would I love to read more of this guy's stories, because this one was so funny. This is a fantastic and satirical introduction to Russian literature. I loved it. I know Lezlie really enjoyed it. Zashenko was born and died in St. Petersburg, which makes me a little bit jealous because that was where Dostoevsky lived for a lot of time and also spent a lot of story time in St. Petersburg. But Zashenko was there several years after Dostoevsky's death. He was born there in 1894 and he died there in 1958. So he was writing during the Soviet Union's history. So this story was set during the time when the Soviet Union actually had outlawed Christmas trees, and so they had the New Year's tree instead of the Christmas tree to kind of keep alive some of the traditions. And this is said straight out in the story so that you kind of understand what's going on. The story is told with a first-person perspective, and he's narrating back his past from 40 years in the future. He's looking back on a time when he was like 5 years old, and he and his sister were trying to steal stuff off the tree, the treats and the apples that are hanging up on the tree, and it causes some havoc. There's a party afterwards where their friends are invited. Not everybody is happy with the gifts that they end up getting, and it's very, very funny. And there's a moral at the end that the author explicitly states, and it's just funny because it's not a Christmas tree, but you're getting the moral of the story. Yeah, I liked it. It was very funny. This is also free and super duper short, so check it out down below. Next, we have At Christmas Time or Christmastide. It goes by either title that I've seen. This is by Anton Chekhov. Chekhov was born in 1860 and he died in 1904. Now, this is one Russian writer with whom I have yet to forge a soul bond. It's upsetting without the same layer of spiritual meaning that Dostoevsky and Flannery O'Connor give you for your pain. I can appreciate what I've read from Anton Chekhov before, but he's just not my favorite because even though it's tight and it's very smart, it's good writing. It's just, I don't personally enjoy it as much as some other writers. With all that said, this story broke me a little bit. It's about a peasant family in the country, and they're trying to get a letter written to their daughter who's off in the city, and they can only afford to hire this sleaze bag of a writer to write the letter for them. And as they are like, what should we talk to her about? We need to express that life is hard here. It's been hard. The winters have been hard. Everything is hard right now. It's not very Christmassy. It's all the coldness and winteriness of Christmas without your warm mug of cocoa and a nice burning log fire. They're not having a cozy Christmas, and they want to express this to their daughter off in the city. They haven't heard from her in years. She just married and went off to the city. So this writer is writing a letter, and he just starts putting in a bunch of stuff that he had to memorize for the military. He's a veteran, and he's just writing out his handbook, and it's all completely meaningless. The family's like, well, whatever, send it off. We have to communicate with her somehow, so just do that. So they send it off, and it's kind of bizarre, right? And if you want to find out what happens, do they contact the daughter? What's up with the daughter? Does she have kids? I recommend checking out the story for free and the Zashenko one as well. They're both linked down below along with the next story that I will be talking about. But first, I just want to talk a little bit about Chekhov's style in this one. Britannica says that Chekhov concentrates on apparent trivialities to give his story more atmosphere, and I definitely found that to be the case. In At Christmastide, there were mentions of hot and cold and winter, water. There was corruption in the ranks of those who are supposed to be protecting the weak, namely the military. So pretty much no matter where you look, nobody's happy in this story. It contrasts very strongly with what you would think of for Christmas and New Year's. It's not a hopeful, happy time. And the Codex Cantina talks a lot in their video about the theme of family connections that's supposed to be happening at Christmas time and how this story shows a distinct lack of that, and it's very interesting. I do, again, highly recommend their video. And next, we have The Young Tsar by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was born in 1828, and he died in 1910. He's considered one of the world's greatest novelists. I've gone through 29 years of my life without having read any of his novels. I read a novella, which it's like my favorite novella, The Death of Ivan Ilyich. I really love it. I highly recommend it. As long as you're ready to get your heart ripped out, just keep that in mind. But I also have Anna Karenina. I have a beautiful copy. This was a Mr. Rogers gift, actually, maybe. I've been eyeing this ever since Noah at Everyone Who Reads Must Converse did a bunch of spoilery discussion videos on this, and I want to read it, but it's so big that I just haven't yet. And I'm very excited though. I'm going to in 2021 with Una from the Codex Cantina and Lezlie from the Nerdy Narrative. We're planning on all reading it together. So, can't wait to go back and watch Noah's spoilery discussion videos. Anyways, this particular short story is the story of a young czar who has been working at his duties all day long, signing all kinds of bills and laws and all those kinds of responsibilities that rulers have to do. And he's just so ready to go home and see his wife and just chill. So he goes, and he's so tired that he falls asleep on his couch while he's waiting for her to come home, and he's swept off into a dream with several visions in it, where he sees how his laws have affected the land. And it's like a guided vision to see how his choices affect everything. I thought it was very sweet. I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was funny. There was like maybe a few too many visions, but you know, this is Russian literature, so it can't be short, right? Unless we're talking Chekhov. But this is a good story to start with if you don't want your heart to be shredded by the Russians this Christmas. So I haven't actually talked with anyone else about the story yet, so I feel like my ideas are a little bit unformed. I haven't been able to bounce them off of Una's video or hear from my friends on Voxer yet. They haven't read it yet, so this is just Christy speaking. But maybe we can chat all together about it on the live stream, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it too, so go ahead and go read it and come to the live stream, the story. I thought I remembered something about Tolstoy having some influence over the Tsar, but I didn't really know how this story played into that. It really sounds like it's almost like a love letter to the Tsar from his loving father Tolstoy. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. It's not like this story actually solves any of the problems of the empire in the dream, but it does ultimately have the most important thing that a person needs to think about when they make very important decisions in their lives. And I loved that it emphasized that. It has the spiritual element that I need from stories. So I'm gonna have a quick spoiler for the story right here. Just like fast forward like 5 seconds if you don't want to hear it. I think the guide is God. Codex does not think that. I think they think it's somebody else. But that was just my opinion. My initial reaction, if you will. Okay, guys. Now, for the live stream, we're gonna have the live stream here on my channel on the 15th, coming up very soon. It's gonna be at 4:30 p.m. PST, and I'm so excited about it, guys. We're probably gonna have a game, a pronunciation game, so you can come and just laugh at us and hopefully play the game along with us. I want to hear what you guys think as we're playing the game. Also, we will be discussing these 3 stories that I just talked about. We will have Una and Krypto from the Codex Cantina and Lezlie from the Nerdy Narrative on this live stream, and we're all going to be reacting in our own ways to the stories. I will have some discussion questions, and I hope you'll show up as well and answer the questions with us. That's Mount Canocta right over there. It's a volcano. Yay, rain! This is our house. It's like super windy. I love it. I love seeing the pine trees move like it's a sea, like it's an ocean. Calming down a little bit now. But man, you should have seen those cattails over there. They were like falling over. Well, hello. It's several days later. I am making the Morse, and I'm probably mispronouncing that. I apologize for not taking footage until the step, but it's over on the stove right there. What I just did was I boiled a bag of cranberries and some blackberries, and the ratio was 1:3 berries to water. It's looking really good. I tasted it. It's very sour and yummy. I was supposed to boil it until the cranberries broke, and now I'm mashing all the berries with a wooden spoon, and I'm gonna boil it a little bit longer after that, 5 minutes, and then I will strain it
into a cloth and squeeze the cloth. And I will add some honey because morse actually means honey drink or something like that. Honey something. You can use sugar, but yeah, I'm gonna use honey. It has to cool down before I strain it. Probably as soon as it's done cooking. I'm going to go really study in depth the Dostoevsky story that I'm gonna be discussing and analyzing with Codex Cantina. I printed it out. I'm ready with my highlighters. So yeah, I'm gonna study that, and then I have to go for a walk with some friends at 2. She's the cutest little girls. We'll go for a walk. When I get back, it'll be almost time to film with the Codex Cantina. 4 p.m. my time, we're gonna be filming the analysis and their announcement for A Very Russian Christmas.
I'm gonna go and finish the morse, and then walk, and then maybe study a bit more, and then film. I'm gonna be drinking the morse while I'm on with Codex Cantina.
Hello, Editor Christy here. I don't think I quite expressed how completely unsuccessful of a cooking vlog this was.
Not only did I completely burn the first yogurt attempt, the second one, it wasn't a live culture because I didn't have fresh sour cream, so it didn't turn into yogurt, it just did nothing.
And the morse, I used like a really thin towel to strain the berries, to strain the juice through, and the morse tasted like my laundry detergent. It was just very unsuccessful. I do not feel like a real cook. Happily, I've already filmed the cooking for the next vlog, and that one was much more successful. So, see you next time.
Okay guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I will have a second vlog coming out post live stream where I talk about, I think there's like 4 or 5 more stories, so maybe a bit longer. I also will be cooking more in that vlog. This was like the drinks vlog. The food vlog is coming next. Alrighty guys, take care and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching.